Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you all very much for joining me on today's video, or the end of the week live stream. We're going to be taking a look at a few things. Obviously, there's been a fair amount of reaction this week in regards to certain comments in regards to the China-US trade deal. So we will be taking a look at what reflection that has been on the precious metals for the week. We've seen a lot of up and down movement, so we will be taking a closer look. We're going to take a look at silver, gold, platinum, and palladium. A couple of days ago, I posted the platinum movement to the upside, and then we've seen it retreat today. In particular, palladium as well has had an excellent run. So we will be taking a look at regards to the sell-off today. So we will take a closer look at that. I've also got an article that we're going to be taking a look at. It says here, gold rises to top of range on US-China trade deal disappointment. So again, there's the typical response in regards to Trump's comments in relation to the trade deal. All of a sudden, it was all looking rosy. Now, of course, the next day again, it's a disappointment, and then, of course, the market's reaction off that. So, what can we expect for next week? We will be taking a look at that. Michael M, how you doing? It's good to see you. Thank you very much for dropping in. Appreciate you joining us here. For those watching this video afterwards, thank you very much. Really appreciate the support. If anyone wants to consider becoming a donator to the channel, I've got one spot available before the next giveaway. So literally, you'll be the Trump card in the donators section. So if you check the description out, you'll see there is one spot left, and then I'm going to open up another 5 spots for the next giveaway. That is a donators giveaway, so there'll be something really cool. So if anyone's considering donating to the channel, you'll see PayPal details there, and then also as you donate more, that's why you'll see there is one particular guy by the name of Gramstacker. He's donated consistently there, so he's got 3 entries into the next giveaway. So if anyone wants to consider that, check it out. And I've also got the link there to the previous video, which was the platinum rise. So definitely check that out if you haven't. The link is there for you to take a look at. Got a comment here from Free World. How you doing? He says gold dump because the austerity on continual offer by the Conservative governments. Also, yes, in regards to Brexit, the general election result has given a majority to Conservatives in the UK. So that's had an effect on the precious metal market as well. Thank you very much for pointing that out there, Free World. Really appreciate it. So we're going to take a look at silver for starters. So I've left all the arrows in place from the last live stream we did, which was on Tuesday. So let's take a look. What sort of movements have we seen? Well, these ones were from Friday last week. So we're going to be taking a look and moving these around this, because these were also on the 4-hour. So we're going to shift these around a bit. So what we've seen is, I'm going to move this here, and we're going to put that down here. So we've got an area of support currently at 1652. I think we can all agree on that. That also coincides with this red line, which is the 200 EMA. For those that aren't aware of what EMA, it's the exponential moving average, and the 200 stands for 200 days average. So if you have a look at it, I'm going to unclick it, you'll see it says there 1658 was the average for silver over the last 200 days. So there, we can clearly see it there. We've got our 200 marker here, and silver's reacting off that, and it looks like a decent level of support to build up. Over the last 5 days, we've seen good buying. Again, no red candles, which is really good. So we've gone to the top end of the scale here. I'm going to move this to about here so we can see that moving up. There's our maximum resistance level currently at the moment is 1721, which is pretty much where we almost reached the other day. This is this marker here. Our high there was 1711 before we retraced down, and we are slowly starting to see higher highs and higher lows, which is great. What you want to see in regards to a bullish market, you want to see the higher highs come into place, and we also want to see higher lows come into place. So there's definitely room for that there. Mr. Dave, how you doing? It's good to see you. Mr. Dave, always a pleasure. How's your day going? Silver currently priced at $16.95, so that's $16.95, currently up 5 cents on the day. Community post I put in there yesterday, it's certainly based on Trump's comments in regards to the trade deal looking promising. I immediately checked the charts, and I could see there was a strong wick all the way down, so more than likely the market reacted off that, thinking that there was a good trade deal in place. Meanwhile, it was complete and utter nonsense. So we will be looking at that a bit closely. Right, so there's our top resistance zone currently at the moment, which is about $17. So again, we're not that far off that. What I would expect looking at this moving into next week is with everything left behind us and those tariffs in place, more than likely we should start to see some upward movement. That is what I feel. However, there are multiple resistance zones ahead. We've got this yellow line here. It looks like we might just finish above that. Might just finish above that, everybody. You can see it here. It's struggling a bit. If we finish above that technical line at 16.95, then there's a very small gap here, which means we should push up through to that 17.10 resistance level. That is my opinion in regards to this market. Let's have a check. We got 7 watching, so guys, thanks very much for listening. Always an absolute pleasure. Hit the like button, please, if you don't mind. Certainly appreciate it. If you feel like you want to drop a comment into the chat, please feel free to do so. So looking at next week, more than likely, if I look at the momentum that we've seen here, and based on the comments that we've had and today's clarity in regards to tariffs, we should see certainly a 17.12 push to about that resistance level, which is this orange average, which is the 50 moving average. So the 50 moving average is currently which means the average for the last 50 days has been $17.13. So for me, we've got a resistance level here, which we should, if we finish above this yellow line here, the 20, more than likely we should get through that level there. We've hit it a couple of times, so more than likely that will be on major level, is that 17, call it 17.10, 17.15 in that area there. Once we get above that level, then we can start looking at the higher highs. But we are looking good. We are seeing higher highs, high lows in place, which is what we want to see, everybody. Let's look at the weekly for silver right now. There it is again. There's my 2 lines in place. I mean, look at that. I couldn't say it more. There's the candle body there, just under that arrow there and on the bottom there. So for the weekly, it's not bad. We're seeing some pretty strong activity this week. Nice green solid candle, where we broke through resistance there last week, which is good. Strong push through, and then we've maintained it, even though we've seen a lower high trajectory in regards to wicks. We are seeing a slightly higher low trajectory on the wicks there as well. So it'd be interesting to see how things plan out for Monday, but I'm certainly hoping that is, in my opinion, looking at the way the charts are, we should see an attack of that $17 resistance and hopefully break through it to about 17.10. Right. We're going to check out some news quickly. So let's take a look through. I've got an article here that we're going to take a look at. There's a few more comments in here. We've got Bob the Monk says, hello, silver lovers. How you doing there, Bob? It's good to see you. Thank you for dropping in. And then we've also got Mr. Dave says, all good, me old flower. Just trying to decide if I should buy Una and the Lion. Mr. Dave, you will not regret that decision, my friend. I've got one. I've got the video. I just need to upload it. So believe me, it's beautiful, man. When you open that box and you see that flash of the proof field around that Una and the Lion, it's magnificent, man. It really is. Just watch out for the pricing, because at the moment there's one on auction and the prices are starting to climb up, which is great. That's what I want to see. I'll probably most likely flip the coin I've got, but I'm holding on to it at the moment. So it certainly is a magnificent piece, but you can still get them close to purchase pricing out there, Mr. Dave. So if you have a look on eBay, I think there's a couple of sellers I put watches on that are selling them close to what they sold for, which I think is pretty good. Bob the Monk says, China deals phase 1 impeachment Brexit should be interesting. I know, yeah, it's exactly that, Bob the Monk. There's so much activity this week in regards to that. It's almost like a spring action, sort of a spring that's currently being loaded. That eventually something's got to give. That's the way I look at it. We should start to see some movement next week. Mr. Dave says £225. Wow. Okay, I'm sure I saw them cheaper than that. Mr. Dave. Blended Whiskey, good to see you. There's a top man there. Blended Whiskey, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching. Let's have a look. So gold rises to the top of the range on the US-China trade deal disappointment. This is by investing.com. It says gold prices rose on Friday as risk aversion returned to markets' disappointment by the modesty of such hyped phase one trade deal between the US and China. Funny enough, I looked at it, when I started to see platinum going up and up and up, I was like, it was almost like clockwork. Like precious metals started to rise, gold really went up, and then all of a sudden there's a comment made and the market's back down again. To me, it was like tactical profit-taking maneuver. That's the way I looked at it. And funny enough, there was a comment there by Jody on the last video that pretty much summed it up. I even said to him, "Bravo, bravo." Such details as both sides released gave little indication to expect a conclusive de-escalation of their trade war, and suggested that it'll drag into that the drag it has generated on global growth all year would stretch into 2020. It says in a statement by the U.S. Trade Representative website, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said the agreement marks critical progress towards a more balanced trade relationship and a more level playing field for the American workers and companies. It says, however, while the U.S. had refrained from escalating the 18-month trade war with a fresh round of import tariffs on Sunday, as scheduled, the deal appears to have only limited provisions to reduce existing tariffs. The US will keep 25% tariffs on approximately $250 billion of Chinese imports annually, along with a 7.5% tariff on another $120 billion. Moreover, neither Washington nor Beijing gave any meaningful detail about what China had offered in return. It says, of course, that's probably made Trump wants to make himself look really top-notch. So we'll start off with what they've said. Never mind what China said. President Donald Trump spoke of a massive future purchases of U.S. trade goods in the future, structural changes to the economy, changes that Mnuchin said would be enforceable. Beijing itself said that would provide details about timing, range, volumes of its commitments to buy American goods later. Faced with underwhelming reality, risk assets sold off from intraday highs and stocks to a negative territory. Gold futures accordingly caught a bid, and they were still unable to break out of the new range. I've always said that $1,480 range is extremely tough, and that's exactly what happened. We started to go up there. We just went over it from a gold level perspective, and then we went down immediately upon that sort of news. Gold spot was likewise up, but range bound, gaining 0.4%. Which is interesting because we're starting to get back to that resistance level. So we'll go into that when we look at the gold chart. Silver futures rose 0.4% to 1702, while platinum futures fell 1.6%. That was a big drop. And the 10-year treasury yield fell 7 basis points to 1.83%. Precious metals remain broadly supported by a still intact trend towards easy monetary policy across the world, although the Federal Reserve and central banks, European Central Bank, both left their policy stance unchanged this week. That was the move that prompted the move up. Elsewhere, there was a downward pressure on pricing on prices out of Europe, where the UK Conservatives' convincing election victory cleared the way for a formal exit from the EU by the end of January, removing a key risk that had propped up European investors' gold demand. The results sent money flooding out of the heavens, including UK government bonds and into equities. Right. Let's see what we got. Mr. Dave says, I don't normally get into the high-end coins. Well, I tell you what, that's a beauty, man. Free World said, is the Valiant Silver 1 ounce as good as everyone is saying? There is a double premium already. No ways. Free World, man, I tell you what, I bought that coin when it first came out, and when I looked at it, I thought, man, this is probably going to be one coin that's going to go up in value. Hey, it was undersold as far as I was concerned. I paid 18 euros for it when it officially hit the market. I bought 2 of them. I probably should have bought more. And then the value started to go up. It's also a limited edition coin, so there is a limited mintage. I think that is a great piece, though. Free World, you got a very nice coin there. Silver Junkie, hey buddy, $13.50, man. How you doing? It's good to see you. Mr. Dave says 2 ounce gold is selling. Yep, I know you. That is mad, man. It was actually a bid. Or there was a fella on eBay. If you find him, he's got that 2 ounce gold and he's got it advertised for $30,000, right? And he's sold one. Now, there was obviously it was a bid. It was a make an offer. So maybe the guy got an offer from somebody. But yeah, for that sort of money, I mean, there were £4,000 when they were released, and guys are selling them for ridiculous money. Mr. Dave says I picked up 25 of the balance on my last order. Well, good job. Gramstacker, man, how you doing? This is my top donator, man. Good to see you. Thank you very much for dropping in. Gramstacker says, hey, Limey and everyone, hope you are all having a great day. Yeah, so far so good. The weekend's here as well. Free World says £30 now. Trust me, when that hits a nice level, I'll be offloading those two. I can tell you that now. I can put that in some meme coins. They're very nice. Well, I've got two there, Free World. I'll tell you, I might just consider putting them on eBay later. No ways. RPM Limited say, hey SL79, how's life, mate? Hello SL Army, wishing you all well. RPM Limited, it's good to see you, man. How you doing? There's another one of our donators there, RPM Limited. Good man. Thanks for dropping in. Let's get back to the charts though. Gold. Let's bring up the gold chart. Gold is, after taking a bit of a dive, has seemed to have come up nicely and recovered a bit. As you can see from the type, we've got platinum and palladium down, and then we've got gold, silver, and up. So there we go. There's our candle there. We're going to look at yesterday's. These are markers I put in place. Look at that, and hardly any wick on that top one. Very nice. Right, gold, $1,477 an ounce, currently up $8.10. It looks like it's slowly creeping up. It was at $14.76 when I started the live stream, so already it's $1 up, guys. You know, we're anyone holding gold currently watching this live stream is making money. We're going to take a look. Right, here we go. Okay, there's our top resistance line, which I've always had in place there at 14.79, 14.80, and that's exactly what happened. Yesterday, we hit a high of $1,487, guys. It was massive. Look at its intraday low there. We were down at 463. It was probably one of the biggest moves I've seen in gold for quite some time. It looked pretty awesome until we until that sort of announcement in regards to the trade deal. A bit, and then we started to trade back down again. However, if we look at where we are, we're currently priced. We're above this, which is the 50. Then we're above 20, which is acted like support. We've got a good area of support in that area there, and look at that, guys. I've got already primed and ready to go. That's about the 1470 mark. Then we've got our bottom level support, which is currently at 1458. That's holding nicely. Good areas of support in order to bounce off on, which is great. So I think going into next week, we should start to see a at least. It depends on if we're able to crack this, but we will take a look. And hopefully, if all goes well, we're gonna start to see some inroads and really start to tackle that $1,500 level again. Especially with majority of all the stuff out the way now, the more than likely should be that movement in the right direction. Let's go and check the chat again before we start. Gramstacker, just saying hello to everyone there. Be sure to hit the like button, everyone. Thank you very much, Gram. Always good to see you. Mr. Dave says the coin connection was selling it today on behalf of the customer. Wow, okay. So there are people flipping those coins already. I'm okay, thanks, SL79. Just extremely busy trying to get done for Christmas. I know you've been extremely busy. I've missed you, man. I've only seen you in a few of my live streams. You got to come in and make some time for me, RPM. Hopefully you'll once all your work's done, you'll be dropping in a bit more occasionally. But no, next Friday is the last live stream for the charts until until next year, until after the new year. Wow, as the chart man says, Mudswat, fantastic. Always great to see you as well. Right, we're gonna. That still page is still. Right, so here we go. There's our resistance. There's our two selling nicely. Above this level, it looks pretty good to me. Going into next week, hopefully there's good levels to come on. So even if Monday starts off slow and we go back down to this level here, we're still in that sort of 1470 level. Hopefully there'll be enough momentum to get ourselves up. What I am seeing, which is great, is a good level of higher highs and higher lows. So even if we have a look here in relation to where this angle is going, we are seeing that higher high cycle, and particularly in the main body candles. So you can see it there and there. So that is it up there. Never mind excluding the wicks now. And then likewise here, boom, boom. So for me, if I look at all this other stuff that we've had, yes, we've had that movement there and back down. We've had it there, back down. But this to me looks a little bit different. The main reason being is we're in this zone between the 20 and the 50, and now we've actually cleared it to start next week off. So hopefully, it's been a while since we've actually been above that 50 level, and we're above it currently. Hopefully it maintains it. I'm going to take a look and see. Okay, let's look at the weekly here. Okay, so there's our weekly candles. Looking fairly good. You can see it there. We've had sort of, I would say, a high volume to a degree with wicks, heavy wicks on both ends. However, this past week, good buying opportunity. You can clearly see it there. We've come out of the dumps here in regards to where we've seen our metals. So the low of the week was 1458, which is pretty much bang on where our resistance or support level is right here. And the support level has been pretty consistent over the last 4 weeks, guys, from a main body candle perspective. So for me, I'd be quite happy to see gold bounce off that level rather than break down from that level. There's more emphasis on that being an excellent area of support rather than a low area of support. So that looks pretty good going into next week. Where can we see gold go? So let's take a quick look here. Okay, well, we're effectively above that level now, which sets us up for next week with no resistance levels in regards to our moving averages in place. We should start to tackle these higher levels here. All we need to do is essentially just get above 1480 and build up from there. So the moment we can do that, 1485, if we have a look here, would be a good area there. What's that? 1490 is our probably next area. It'd be good to see ourselves rally up to this point here. Hopefully consolidate some more and build up again. Right, let's have a look. Coin Collector, man, how you doing? It's good. Coin Collector's here, guys. In case you haven't seen this channel, he's based in the UK as well. Nice arrows. Thanks, buddy. I love my keyboard warrior friends, Mr. Dave. Yeah, it looks like the dial-up's working today as well, Mr. Dave. So next time I'll put a little sound in as well for you if you like. Christian says, good evening, Limey. What are your thoughts on the effects of a Brexit? Well, I tell you what, I was pretty amazed with that result that he pulled off today with the biggest majority since 1987. So, to me, the way I've thought about it, yes, there might be a lot of people out there that are against Brexit, but clearly there are a large percentage of those that just want to get on with it and move on with the country. And fair play to them. They've voted. They've, had this say. It just all depends on how the rest of it's going to fall into place. I mean, obviously, Scotland is an interesting country to watch at the moment with Nicola Sturgeon. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. Obviously, Northern Ireland as well. There was some obviously some vote shifting as well, which was, I think, it surprised a lot of people. But I guess we'll have to see what happens into next year. But more than likely, I think that's it. 31st of January. Deal or no deal. RPM Limited says, I know I've missed you too, SL79, and everyone here. Yes, I'll be back in full force soon. Great, it'd be good to see you again, buddy. These charts should work properly again from January. I still believe. Thanks there, RPM. Are you going to the RDS in February? Mr. Dave. I hadn't planned on it, to be honest. Are you going there, Mr. Dave? Picked up 5 kilos last time. Jeez, nice one. Dial up, says Mudswat. You missed the joke there. Mr. Dave was having a go. It was insane. It was absolutely insane, Mr. Mudswat. For some reason, I couldn't pull up the chart and it wouldn't move. So Mr. Dave was taking the piss. Coin says I made money on that. On that, I placed I placed a nice bet. Awesome, Coin Collector. Coin Collector. Brexit will be great. There you go. Oh, geez, sorry. This thing's bouncing all over the place. It's starting all over again. Maybe I spoke too soon. Mr. Dave says, "Lol, dial up." Yeah. Mudswat just saying hello to everyone there. Right, let's move on to the next chart. So we're going to be taking a look at platinum. Right, platinum's seen quite a bit of action today. As you guys, I was posting those great movements. I mean, we saw some massive candles come out of nowhere, and that was mainly off a supply and demand issue. And on the last video, guys, you can check the description there. I'll put the link there. If you go into that, there is an additional link which I put in the video on the eye on the last video, and it'll take you to an interesting video which I had about platinum and its essential benefits moving forward, and how it'll be used in future engine technology. So definitely, or not necessarily engine, but your pod hybrid hydrogen vehicles. Definitely one to check out. Right, okay, so platinum today been on an absolute tear, or it's just ripped straight up to the upside. We had a high there of 948, almost at the top, guys. Literally, that was our resistance area, and I even put that in there from our previous one, which was 952, guys, and we came so close. And there's just been some sell-off today. Now, more than likely, I expect to see some consolidation to a degree. Maybe even we might even see ourselves get back to that support level. There is an ascending support level here that is currently in place. So it's going to be interesting to see if that pans out. A few videos ago, I'd said I would have expected this multiple breakout level. I based on the charts, I was too early for it. I was expecting it, and what do you know? A few days back, we had it, that multiple resistance breakout, and it was spectacular. It really was. So anyone who bought platinum before that or was holding platinum, well done, guys. That's what I want to see. They're saying that there could be there's a massive, about 30% demand for increase in regards to platinum at the moment. So that certainly helped swing things in platinum's favor. So this ascending support line is definitely in place. We could just see that pip its previous high there at 954. I'd love to see that. Its previous high was $997. So we're really not that far away. What's that, about $70 away? Doesn't really sound like a lot if you look at the price. $927 an ounce for platinum. Really ain't that far away. Right, let's check and see. I think in one of my streams there was someone there who said that they're probably going to offload their the reverse proof S, I believe, and they were probably going to buy some metals. Now, I'd mentioned that what I would probably do if I had a reverse proof S and sold it, and I'd probably consider a decent spread of metals. I'd probably get some platinum, gold, maybe a bit of silver, but I'll probably focus on those two metals alone. And I've mentioned this many times in my videos in regards to platinum, where I think platinum should be its possibilities for higher prices. I mean, its all-time high is $2,200 an ounce. So there's plenty of room there to see platinum grow. And if you watch that that link in the previous video, check it out. You'll become extremely bullish on platinum for the near future. Mr. Dave says, "Did you drop the lotion in the bucket?" Did you drop the lotion in the bucket? Not really sure who you're talking to there. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so multiple breakouts here. We've now seen a decline back down. Currently, we're actually holding at this level here. So if I have a look, that level there is pretty much in line with this area here. There we go. So if we have a look at it there, this is an area, a slight area of support, mainly due to these three candles here. Also, this candle here acting like resistance, which is now support because we're on the way down. It's resistance on the way up, support on the way down. Just remember that. And then we've also got these two areas here, which are support as well. And there's the resistance level, which is also support. So it is currently holding at that level, which is great. That's what I want to see. So hopefully it can maintain that level, have a bit more of a build up, maybe get back up to about 940 for next week. I think would be a fairly good conservative move in regards to platinum, because there is a fair amount of demand there. If I look at the way these candles are, we haven't really come back much. So a move back up to 940. I'd like to see that next week. I don't think it's a hard ask, considering it'll be up by $13, considering we're down 16.50 today. I think it's definitely set up for it. We've got multiple levels of support currently at the moment. That being one. We've also got an area here. It's at 922. We've got 916. We've got 910. Man, it's looking pretty sweet currently at the moment for platinum. Let's look at the weekly for platinum. Right, there we are. So we are, I mean, look at that. 5 fantastic weeks of green. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yes, there's been a substantial amount of sell-offs, but we've maintained it. We've constantly built up on it, and it looks pretty sweet, guys. There you go. Just look at those green candles there. Ding, 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 straight up. And that's where we sold off. Higher highs, definitely. I mean, just look at that, guys. All the way up here. It just looks, really good, guys. Let's check the comments here. Mr. Dave, he says, Silence of the Lambs. All right. Why would you bring that up, Mr. Dave? What are you thinking? Some alfalfa beans and some lovely Chianti. Something like that, wasn't it? If I wasn't mistaken. KZU Gaming says, I need silver and gold lower. China-US trade deal made nothing today. Must go down. Must go down for certain people, obviously, including yourself, KZU. I want to see some movements to the upside. Like with any investment, you can't always expect it to go down. It must go up as well at some point. How long have you been in the precious metals game, KZU? Right, so it's looking pretty well set up. There's our resistance level there as well. That this line here, that's the 200. And that's our big one there at 950. There's our big one. That was the 997. Came close to 4 figures. Close, but no cigar. Right, we're going to move on to Palladium. Oh, Palladium has just been magnificent, guys, with the exception of today. Still, though, today it made... Right, Palladium, $1,922 an ounce. The high of the day was $1,980 an ounce. Again, there's really no need to go into too much technical details. It's looking great. We got higher highs, higher lows in progress. It's just all the way up, looking sweet as ever. It's like sweet, really is. If you have a look here, we're far away from our support zone. We're just flying high. Demand, there's the shortage for Palladium will go into next year, apparently, in regards to it. So more than likely, guys, we are going to see a $2,000 Palladium in the near term. Just in regards to the way this metal's moving, it's coming, guys. We're going to see $2,000 for Palladium. And like I said, if you'd bought in January of 2016, so, you know, January's just around the corner. If you'd bought 4 years ago, Palladium, it would have cost you $450 an ounce. And even if there was a $200 premium or even a $250 premium, Palladium would have cost you $700. Just to think of the return, you'd be laughing all the way to the bank if you'd bought at that price. One of the biggest metals on the market right now in regards to return on investment if you'd bought 4 years ago. Mr. Dave says it sounded like you were dropping something. Oh, don't know. I definitely didn't drop anything. KZU said silver $20 2020 according to some analysis. There's loads of analysis out there. KZU. When we get to 19 first, I'll definitely consider a $20 move. Currently at 17 or just under 17, we're still far away from that. If I look at the movements for silver, some of our biggest moves have maybe been 80 cents in one day. So anything is possible, but at the moment, we're not really seeing major gains. 20 odd cent move here or 30 cent odd move there. There's not enough there to make me see that we're probably going to see that. Yes, there's lots of fundamentals. The fundamentals there are mad for precious metals going into next year. Let's look at KZU. Says 2K for Palladium. I should have bought at 800. I should have bought at 450. Never mind 800. I should have bought at 450. Just think of the nice return on that. I should have bought at 450. And you know, oddly enough, KZU, I did an example there in one of my live streams, and I showed the return on investment. Palladium was by far the biggest out of the lot, even from gold and platinum and silver. It was massive, man. If you'd invested money 4 years ago in Palladium and you'd put a sizable amount down, I mean, it was only $450. If you'd bought 20 ounces, you know, and let's say 10 ounces would have cost you $4.5 grand, $9 grand. If you'd bought 9 grand's worth of Palladium, that would have effectively been 20 ounces. So 20 ounces at the current price, that's pretty big. KZU says life is difficult. It certainly is. KZU says I invested in crypto. Playing in that field is like in a casino. I don't disagree with you there, KZU. I'm just looking at. I'm into crypto myself. We'll be taking a look at Bitcoin as well. And that's the way I've seen it. It's since I've been in the crypto space since last year, September. It might have just been before, maybe August, but mainly September. For me, it's just been that sort of ride. You've really got to, for those listening, you really got to understand the market. You got to know what you're getting into. You got to do your own research and only invest money you're prepared to lose. End of story. That is pretty much the best way to look at it. You can't throw in money that you're gonna need in 2 months' time or a month time or even a week's time. You know, it's just gonna cost you money. Right. Let's look at Palladium on the weekly just to see how the week, because we're at the end of the week. Man, just look at that, guys. Just magnificent candle moves. And this is on the weekly move. So we had that from the 4th of November to the 11th of November. Well, that 2 week stint there, that was our major sell-off. Everything else for the last 4 weeks has been very strong, with the exception there of yesterday when we had a bit of a sell-off today as well. Palladium down $17.59 to $1,921 an ounce. All right. What's that? Tapper. It's Tapper Tan Trump. How you doing? He says, hello, I'm very well, and yourself? Thanks so very much for joining us here. KZU says, I agree. Thank you very much. It's certainly an interesting space to be in, KZU, but obviously for those that are looking, and I'd put this, there's a lot of people in the crypto market who are looking for quick returns. They're all waiting for that turnaround and they're putting their life savings into it. I mean, literally, you've got to be extremely careful with that market because it's extremely volatile. And you might wake up one morning, you bought in at 8 grand, and then you wake up the next morning and it's down to 6.5. You know, there's 1,500 lost off, you know, how many Bitcoins or how many crypto tokens you'd effectively bought. Tapper says, I'm good, thanks, fantastic. And again, thanks for joining the live stream. I normally live stream for about an hour roughly, so we'll I'm going to have a look at Bitcoin and we'll finish off. Right, let's look at the Bitcoin chart. I pretty much called it pretty much when we were down here. If we were looking at our movements here, more than likely we were going to be following this 20 moving average line, which is this yellow line here. And that's pretty much what we've done. And we've just followed it to a T. So what we are seeing is we're seeing that consistent lower high emphasis, which is clearly there. You can clearly see it. We're also seeing a slowdown in volume, which more than likely means that there's going to be some big activity coming. Now, big activity could either be to the upside or it could be to the downside. Obviously, in regards to the way this market has adjusted, it's more than likely going to be down to the downside. But again, who's to say it isn't? So if we have a look at it, this is where Bitcoin is currently consolidating at the moment. Price of Bitcoin, everybody, is 7,293. So that's where we are at the minute. And look at that, we're pretty much in that space. We're in there, but that is technically on the way down, that would be a support level. We've then also got support based on these multiple candles here. So that is a support level there. It is a support level on this way up too. So we are in a support zone, and this is on the daily now. So we've been consistently above that level. So it's certainly looking like we're consolidating in the early sevens area. However, what I'm waiting for is a capitulation to the downside, which will make me think then that the new low or the new bottom is in place. That's what I'm waiting for in regards to Bitcoin. I'm ready to get back in, but we're going to have to wait and see if that materializes. If I look at resistance, currently this yellow is resistance for sure. You can clearly see it. Our wicks touching or breaking through and being rejected. So the 20 moving average is our first attempt to move to the upside. So more than likely, if I look at this action here, we should see a repeat attack on that particular resistance level. We're currently at 7,293. We should be in that area there about 7,4, 7,5. And then if there's enough momentum, if we're able to get through that level and break through it and hopefully create support, then we can attack higher up towards the 8 grand. Currently, with the way this the trend is looking, it's more like a downtrend to me rather than an uptrend. However, let's take a look and let's put this little marker in there. That depicts our next area of resistance. So these are our resistance markers. We're going to put them in there. Our support marker, we've got our support level in there, and then we've got our next support level in here, which is closer to the, what's that, about the 6.8 level, 6.9, 6.8, somewhere around there. It's in that area there. We've got our ascending support line, which is definitely held. You can clearly see this movement down. We broke through it. The buyers came back in the market, pushed it back above this line. Again, we had some more selling, pushed it back up. So that support line definitely looks like it is in play. So if we do have a breakdown below these levels and we break these multiple support lines, more than likely we could see ourselves go down to the early 6s, early 6,000s. So it'll be interesting to get an attack to the upside. I guess rejected, we could see movement further down to the downside, and we could see ourselves get to those specific. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that that's definitely on the cards? He says, "What English accent is yours?" Okay, well, it's it seems you are from England. Sorry, KZ users, by the way. It seems like you're from England. Congrats for Brexit votes again. So right to go out that EU space. Well, I'm actually living in Ireland, but I am from England, though. Thank you very much, KZU. Tapper Tantrum says, "Gee, Great British Pound is up a lot recently. Gold, silver should be cheaper in British pounds." You're absolutely right. Well, even though it's been losing from a dollar value perspective. What is your English accent? Is yours? That is Tapper. But thank you very much for the feedback there. It's Bitcoin on. Let's look at it on the weekly. I'm going to leave these here for the next live stream, so I just want to leave those in place. You can clearly see that is the 50 moving average, which is pretty much acting like a good level of support. Sorry, resistance, beg your pardon. Then we've got our next level of resistance here. We are seeing quite all this week. We've had just red So we could see some upward movement. Now, don't forget, Bitcoin trades 7 days a week. So no matter what time in the day in the world, it's trading. So tomorrow, Sunday, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, that is when it trades. So we should see another attempt to break out of that 7475 area this weekend. If it gets rejected, we could see ourselves break down to those lower levels. Right. Mr. Dave says, illegal immigrants. You wish, buddy. Mr. Dave, you'll have to get a visa. No, I won't. Mr. Dave. How many Irish are living in the UK, bud? Do you reckon they're illegal? Don't make me laugh. All right, so let's do a recap of the precious metals. Okay, so silver, $16.95. Then we've got gold at $1,475 an ounce. Platinum at $926 an ounce. And palladium at $1,922 an ounce for palladium. And finally, Bitcoin is at $7,293 per token. And that is a roundup. So we've got silver at $16.95, $16.95. We've got gold at $14.75. We've got platinum at $926. And we've got palladium at $1,922. KZU says silver below 17 for stacking. Physical. For sure, man. I'll tell you what, there's nothing like stacking physical. It's nice and private. Mr. Dave says the Irish build the UK like the rest of the world. And gold at 1480 on CNBC ticker. Yeah, no, some places have got gold reading higher. This is the live feed on TradeView. So it's going to be interesting to see how that is. Trump says Trump would be on a horse still, only for the Irish. That's Mr. Dave. And they built the Titanic. Yeah, that's right. Keeping climbing silver. Absolutely, Graham. Keep on, absolutely. We want to see those higher highs. That's what I want to see. Higher highs and higher lows. By the dips. Mr. Dave says yes, and an Englishman crashed it. So we've got higher highs and higher lows, and by the dips. That's all the time I have for you, everyone. So again, thanks for watching. Please leave a like. Good to finally catch a live stream, Limey. Have a good day and a weekend, everyone. We'll hopefully catch you on one of the live streams over the weekend, Graham. Always an absolute pleasure to have you here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate it. Again, if you're considering becoming a donator, please check the description for details. I've got one more space before the next giveaway, so I need to fulfill that spot. So if anyone's interested in becoming a donator, now's the time to get in, and you're going to trumpet, and then we'll do a giveaway. Details in the description. Guys, thanks so very much. Absolute pleasure to have you here as always. We've got 5 currently in at the towards the end. KZU says, have a good weekend. Tapper says, I bought loads of garlic dips. Soon Christmas. Enjoy your family, make gifts. Absolutely. Thanks very much, KZU. And likewise with Graham. So we got Gramstacker. Some shout outs to end the video. Gramstacker, KZU Gaming. We got Tapper Tantrum. Got Silver Liming. Mr. Dave. Did we get anyone else? Let's have a look. Oh, we're gonna start to count down. Mudswat, Coin Collector, and RPM Limited. Christian, good to see you there, Christian. Thanks so much for dropping in. And one more, Free World. There you go. That's the shout outs for the end of the video. Guys, absolute pleasure as always. Take care. Have a great weekend. And don't forget to hit that like button. Bye for now.